What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Travel Dash. Today we're going to be exploring Silver Dollar City in Missouri, specifically their Marvel Cave, which in my opinion is one of the most impressive caves in the United States. Has one of the largest cave entrance rooms right at the start, and then they built a whole theme park around this. Now if you want to see the theme park, go check out Coaster Dash. I'll have a vlog up on there. But yeah, I am really looking forward to it.
Since I first became a theme park enthusiast, Silver Dollar City, located in Branson, Missouri, was always towards the top of my bucket list, and a big part of that is because of its location atop the Marvel Cave. In 1894, Canadian entrepreneur William Lynch and his two daughters opened the cave as a tourist attraction in the Ozark Mountains, a region which I hope to further highlight on future trips for Travel Dash. For more than 50 years, Marvel Cave operated as a tourist show cave until the 1960s came around and the Herschen family introduced their 1880s Ozark Mountain village, which they dubbed Silver Dollar City. The theme park was literally built around the entrance to Marvel Cave upon the foundations of a genuine 1880s mining town. How cool is that? Today, a tour of the Marvel Cave is always included with an admission ticket into the park, weather permitting. This will run you about $90 for a single day or $112 for 2 days, which I'd personally recommend. While the price point is undeniably hefty, it's for one of the very best theme parks in the world, so yes, it is worth it. You can check in for the Marvel Cave at the large gift shop near the entrance of the park, where they'll have all the different tour times on display. Make a reservation for whichever time is available, enjoy the park while you wait, and come back when it's time to go. The tour will last approximately an hour, maybe a little over, and one of the things that makes this cave so special is how consistently engaging it is throughout the entire experience. Many caves I've been to have a particular highlight, but this one I'd just say is great the whole way through.
That's where we're going to start. We're going to head down here, come back up here. This is a train that takes you all the way back, which is incredible. If the weather's not cooperating, you actually have to walk all the way back yourself, which is insane.
Once you find yourself in this waiting room with the layout of the cave tour on display, you'll watch a short video that runs over a few simple rules before you begin. Then you'll be directed to the cave entrance, which is a short walk over to a stairway that takes you underground.
Let's talk about some dates. This was discovered in the 16th century. The first recorded expedition of the cave was in 1869, and then it became a show cave in 1894. And then the theme park basically was established around the cave itself, or at least the entrance we're going into right now. You can already feel how cool it is just by walking through the stairs near the entrance, so this is going to be sick.
The first site you'll come across is that of the cathedral room, which has to be my favorite part of the tour. That's because it's one of, if not the largest cave entrance room anywhere in the United States. And having been to many caves in this country, I can certainly say it feels that way. Marvel Cave's early tours historically used ladders that took visitors from the natural sinkhole entrance, which can still be seen today, and then when they got to the bottom, they'd have to slide down a debris pile to reach the bottom of the room. Of course, nowadays this would not fly, and when the Herschens became in charge, they began developing the cave to include concrete paths, stairs, and most importantly, a tower with steps to the bottom. As cool as the structure is, and I do appreciate the different views and perspectives you get from it, part of me wishes I got to experience the original way of getting down just because that sounds so crazy and adventurous. At the top of the spiral stairway, your tour guide will more formally introduce themselves and the cave. They'll give you one last chance to back out now that you've seen what's to come out in front of you, and assuming everyone's good to continue, you'll make your way down to the bottom of the cathedral room. According to our guide, this is where most of the bats in the Marvel Cave like to hang out, but this was not the right time of day to see them, unfortunately. A little after sunset, they start to wake up and then make their move to find a meal. Once you've made your way to the end of the cathedral room, you'll stop to let everyone catch up and admire the most visually striking cave formations along the tour. Particularly, I wanted to shout out the Liberty Bell on the left, which is so cool with all of its layers. You'll also get an incredible look up at where you came from, and I especially love the natural light seeping through the sinkhole entrance. Up next is where the cave starts to look a bit different as the passages narrow in and become very tight. Some parts remind me of a slot canyon, and be sure to watch your head too. If you're taller, you might have to duck in order to avoid the low-lying ceilings.
This is tight, dude. I love this. You have the big open areas and you have the very tight areas, and I just love the variety there.
The cave opens up once more, this time for a room that seemingly had these silky smooth surfaces on both the walls and especially the ceiling. It reminded me a lot of Mammoth Cave National Park in Kentucky if I had to draw comparisons. To the right is another sinkhole, and this time there's actually a skinny waterfall you might spot making its way down the thing. Super cool, and then of course the guide also has to do the whole turning the lights off shtick, but for me it doesn't get old seeing absolute darkness in these caves because at the end of the day this is what it actually looks like outside of these tours. Moving onwards, the passageways once again shrink down, but not quite as much as before. You'll navigate a series of downward switchbacks that lead to one of my favorite parts of any cave tour I've done, albeit not quite as good as the opening reveal of the cathedral room for me, and that's the waterfall room. According to the park, this waterfall is around 40 feet tall, and rarely ever do you get to see this impressive of one inside of a cave. As a matter of fact, when I experienced this cave for the first time in 2021, I'd never seen a cave waterfall before, so this absolutely blew my mind. And even now, after seeing a few others that I'd say are even even more impressive, this totally stacks up. The LED lighting on the falls is really well done, and by the way, the waterfall room is the lowest room on the tour at 505 feet below the surface. Depending on the time of year and precipitation levels, this is also the room most prone to flooding by far. This past spring, it was actually completely impassable for quite some time. Following the waterfall room is where you'll start to see more of the Marvel Cave's best formations, even if it's not a formation-heavy cave compared to others you might experience. There's still a good deal of stalactites and stalagmites prevalent during this section, which I thought was really cool. Oh, and there's a lot more sinkholes too. This cave has to have one of the most impressive variety of sinkholes I've ever seen. On my first visit, there was even a waterfall flowing down the last of these, and it was so impressive. We went here in early summer and it wasn't actually flowing, which is ironic because when I had seen it going, I believe that was the middle of August, totally the opposite of what you may have expected. But at the end of the day, things like that are totally random, and that goes for waterfall flow above ground too. You'll make your way through some more tight uphill areas and up some steps before concluding your tour, sort of. See, to take you out of the cave back to where you started, cave operators installed a unique cable train in 1957.
They say this is the oldest ride at Silver Dollar City, and this is the only cave I've been to with a funicular train that takes you out. That's incredible.
There's not too much to look at aside from some scenic woods, but I was just appreciating the terrain of the area and the fact that I was on a piece of history. This train is such a fascinating way to conclude a marvelous experience, unlike that of nearly every other theme park out there in the world.
That cave was absolutely incredible. I had a great time. I just think it's so cool that that's part of a theme park, you know? It's easily one of my favorite things I've done in any theme park, and honestly one of the more impressive caves I've been to in America. If you're looking for pure formations, there's more impressive ones, but if you're looking for a sense of scale in some of those cave rooms, this is about as good as it gets. Plus you have some really unique waterfalls in a cave. You don't see that very often. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out, guys.